Hey there guys, this is Mateo, Guildmaster Pathogen Gaming. This is going to be another video, a leveling series on Dungeon Fighter Online. This is currently in an Inferno. It's another one of my support characters. I play nothing but supports. And basically the way that this class works is another heavy armor class, another support. This is a damaging support. It's probably one of the higher damaging supports out there in the game. My talents did get reset for whatever reason. I guess they changed something about the class and I haven't read it yet, so I'm just going to go through it so you can follow along as well. I am going to be leveling things up. So here's Battle Axe Mastery, increases her attack speed, hit rate, and weapon attack. I want to max this out. I'm just going to master this real quick. Attacking faster with a slow two-handed axe. She's a two-hander warrior, kind of like an arms warrior in World of Warcraft. This is a Holy Fire buff. This increases skill damage, increases damage taken by the target when they're burning. And that's her big thing. She increases damage of the entire group while they're burning. So I don't think I used Noble Rage. I think I used Summary Justice. Yes, the funny part is I don't remember what abilities I used, so it's gonna be kind of some trial and error here. Like the last class with the Savior, this is another character where I don't think I'm gonna have enough skill points to level everything I want to level. I don't think I used Inferno Vortex either. Oh, look at these. Maybe I did. Flashing Wallet. Yeah, looks like I used it. I don't think I used Castigating Wallet. I think Noble Rage sucks for the points. And with Infernal Vortex, I think it takes too long. The thing is, I have too many skill points, so I gotta put some points into something. I don't like max and heal, but I like having it. I like having cure too. I don't know, we're just leveling, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the good thing about this is that you can skill up and skill down things as you want. It doesn't really matter. I like want to max. No, I don't. No, I don't. Like putting some points in healing just in case. I'm gonna max out cure as well. I'm gonna hit button here, take a look at. I probably could afford to boost crit. There's some basic abilities up top there. I'm gonna max physical crit to get my crit as high as possible. And TP skills. This basically gives you a bonus to some of the abilities you use. See, this just gives plus 10% damage to that. This gives the staining duration. I do max this one. Increases Holy Fire's attack at the cost of this continuous damage duration. Things don't burn that often. Not that often, but they'll be dead before it's a problem. Before it ticks all the way. So I want the direct damage to be higher anyway. And then the rest of these are just choices because all it really is damage. It's just straight damage. I like this one. It makes the shockwave bigger. And then I'm gonna boost some of my ultimate abilities that I use a lot. So delocation. I use Christening Fire a lot. I'm probably going to take a point out of this, put in the Christening Fire. I use Christening Fire a lot. It's a big, almost room-wide AoE. Then I probably don't need that on a button. I'm going to put that over there. I don't remember what buttons I had everything on. So there's a talent points, and then these are skill points. Justice. Just need fire. Mike's gonna get Cascading Wallop out of there. Don't need Blazing Hell on there. Is there anything I'm missing? I manually input the ultimates because you get the cooldown reduction for doing the manuals. I think that's everything. I think it is Castigating Wallop or something. There's something I'm missing on my hotkey bar that I typically will, but definitely need that. I forgot my talents got skipped or got reset. Well, don't worry about it. I am good to go. So let's get into it. Like I said, it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be kind of like a little preview. I'm going to get it to 91. These are some of my alts. I had basically every class at 90 when it was 90 cap. And I'm coming back to the game, really getting into it again. And I kind of want to get everything up to level caps, do some prey on all of my alts by misplaying them. Female Crusader gets real boring. So just going to do the main scenario up to 91, kind of talk through some things, and hope you enjoy. So again, my gear is pretty good, so this isn't really indicative of how things go in game. Just be aware of that. As you can see, the class is so class mechanic, as you can see, the fire wore off, so I have to put my holy fire buff back up. It also does a lot of damage on activation. See that? So it also isn't on the global, so I can do that while I'm casting another ability. I can cancel into that. And while that buff is up, that's what allows me to set mob on fire when I hit them. Increases my group's damage. And you can see my abilities become empowered as well. But it only lasts, I think it's 4 or 5 attacks, and then you gotta put it back up. Or 4 or 5 skills, and you gotta put it back up. Which is kind of like what I was doing with the Seraph yesterday with the feathers. So instead of the feathers, this fire mechanic. Just continuing to apply the fire to my weapon.
마귀를 위해 모든 걸 희생. 어머, 무슨 일인가요?
So why do I play a lot of supports? I don't know. In all of the games I play, I'm either a tank or a healer. I've typically, since Ultima Online, the Nation, in the Syndicate days, I was always a Dex or Mage hybrid, so I was always either meleeing, doing physical DPS, but I could always step back and heal, throw out some spells if I needed to. That's been kind of the archetype, that paladin or that shaman or something like that I've been playing since RPGs came out. It's time for my useless ride. Doesn't do anything. Like I said, I have everything at level 90, so I've done this like 30 times so far, and it's actually just a waste of time. You can't actually die here. You don't take damage. You don't get any bonuses for doing this cleanly. And that's the end of the whole boring stage. While I did give the caution, the Inferno is probably one of the more damaging supports that are out there. They're not, striker level DPS, obviously, but in terms of like from female Crusader all the way to female Striker, this is probably one of the higher supports you can play. Right behind my Nemesis. I will be leveling probably tomorrow. As you see, there's a lot of big room clearing abilities. Big flashy AoE. That shield is from, or that barrier is from one of my legendary items that are equipped, one of my legendary sets. When I take damage, it has a chance to activate that. I'm immune until that breaks. One of the support types in the game, if you saw the Savior yesterday, That was more of a defensive support. Is a buffer, right? So bring the attack speed, the crit, the heal, the barrier. This is more of a debuffer, so it makes the mobs take more damage. I guess you could call that a buff to your group, right? But it's also a what's called a holder. Ooh. I don't know what happened there, that lag. But what holders do is, in the end game, bosses have hundreds of millions of HP. They have these bars there, like that mob had 6 bars of HP. Bosses can have up to 999 bars of HP, and they can kill you very quickly too. So what a holder does is just as self-explanatory, holds the mob in place, and that works on bosses too. There are some abilities that work on normal mobs that don't work on bosses, but there are certain grabs that do work on, or holds that do work on bosses, and those specific classes are valued for that ability. This one, the Inferno, does have some grabs that do work on bosses. So she's not a 100 to 0 holder like my Nemesis is, or a grappler would be. There's a specific class called the grappler that just sits there and holds the boss the whole time. But she's serviceable in that. I like this system, the dock system, where you can just teleport around to different maps. There are also these things, teleportation potions that I have down here. It lets you just teleport to anywhere in the game. So I get to zoom out here and get to teleport around. In older iterations of the game, that was not possible. Also, I'm walking through the town. I would just have to do that for, to go from one end to the other, take maybe 5-10 minutes to get there, and yeah. So I'm glad that I can teleport now.
오직 신의 의지만을 생각하라.
If you didn't see, or if you haven't seen that interaction or paying attention to it, when I douse people in that holy water, I colloquially call it gasoline. You soak them with gasoline. Whenever your fire hits them, they basically just take lethal damage. Even some weaker solo bosses just get one shot if they're doused when you hit them with a skill. So you see that cross on him? That means that he's burned, he's marked, so he's going to be taking more damage from my team. It's a good visual indicator.
준비가 안 됐다. 구합니다. 힘을 주소서.
So if you notice from my login screen, there are male and female characters on there. This is a female priest, and the half-naked swimsuit wearing characters here at the top of my screen are my male priests. And don't think of them as just like different genders. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. So you see how that guy was kind of like sat there frozen? See how he's dark? That's the holding property. You can keep cycling those burns on them to hold the boss in place. Yeah, the male and female characters aren't just different genders. So if you want to pick a chick or you want to pick a guy, they share some similarities. So for example, if I go into skills here, every priest can heal themselves and other teammates, and they can cure status ailments. They can cleanse, but that's typically where the similarities end. They kind of get analogous buffs. So the female crusader gets some of the same buffs as the male crusader, but their application is different. Their skill names are different. Durations, how the way they're used is completely different. So, for example, there is no analog to this class. In the Inferno, there's no fire wielding male priest.
그래요. 천천히 말씀해 보세요.
Now, there is an analog in terms of how it feels, because there is a heavy armor wearing two-hand axe wearing male priest, and that's the Exorcist. But the Exorcist is completely different than this, the Inferno. So the only thing that would be similar there is run speed, swing speeds, is the base things that, because each character has a weight. So slower characters move slower, they jump slower.
준비가 안 됐다. 마귀를 위해 모든 걸 희생해 보이는데 올바른 길을 알죠.
보지마 말고 물건 좀 사가.
인간 사냥꾼이 근처에 있는 것 같아요.
달이 나를 지켜주겠지.
I'm going to take my Nemesis all the way to 95. That one's going to be a much longer stream than this, obviously. And you're going to see me smiling the whole time, because that's my all-time favorite class. Even though it's not my main anymore, but I made a Crusader. I'm a big supporter, but there's been a couple patches where Nemesis is just broken. Yeah, beyond belief. There's a lot of patches like that. 70 cap with the ice short sword. That was a great permanent 100% freeze time, infinite loops, PvP. It was a great time for female Slayer, for Nemesis. That was before she was a Nemesis. That was before her second awakening. And then there was a point where she was like the #1 damage dealer in Anton Raid. That was also funny. You got a move called Destroyer. She just jumps in the air and throws out like 100 swords. And the base damage for that, for whatever reason, was just like the highest in the game or something. No, it's something absurd where even characters' ultimate abilities wasn't more damage than that. So that was a good feeling. It was a good little feeling because it's one thing to play a character because it's the best, and then there's another thing to play a character because you really love that character. So I had a really great time playing it because it was my favorite character, and it was incredibly strong. So I got the best of every world. Yeah, made it. I remember to read the quests. This one doesn't actually want me to just destroy the... This one doesn't just want me to clear it. I have to destroy these cages. World of Warcraft taught me to not read quests. A lot of times I'll finish these quests and then I'll see that my quest hasn't progressed. Like nothing, I couldn't turn anything in. And then I'll have to read. It's like, oh, I was supposed to actually do something. So this one just says I need to explore it. But one of these quests in here actually has me rescue some slaves in here, and that means I have to destroy some of these cages that have people in them. This is one of the few games where I don't listen to music. I actually listen to the music of the game. I really love the soundtrack to this game, for whatever reason. Got that metal, rock and roll feel. Alright, we get it. You can summon. This is my level 1 ultimate, or my first awakening ultimate. It's also a holds the boss in place. I will take cubes. Now see, this next one is to rescue the slaves. My level 2 ultimate. Again, it's a big hold. They don't shy away from the was it allegory? Is that the word? Because that is definitely a crucifixion. Burn everything in righteous fire. I always do this. On this one mission, I always go into the wrong rooms. Too used to like Streets of Rage and Golden Axe and games like that, where you're always going left or right. Those two lefts there being a dead end just throws me way off. That's my age showing there. You can see the progression through the level. You can tell when we're going to be done with it. I just left her awake. The thing about debuffers is that I'm not worried about chasing people around or keeping my buffs up. I just have to hit the mob or hit the boss, which is what everybody's trying to do anyway. So I just pretend like this is a DPS, and I'm really making the rest of my group hit a lot harder. As you can see before it did the whole, it pulled everything to me. And that's what it does. And that's basically what the grappler class does too. They have a bunch of cyclone abilities that pull everything to them and then holds it so that the rest of your group can just sit there and hit them without having to deal with retaliation or mechanics. And that's what my Nemesis does too. Just looks way cooler. Nothing the fire does. Oh, to be fair, that thing only had like 20 bars. There's a point at 90 cap where guillotine there. It's called decollation. Removing the head from the rest of the body. That used to one-shot a lot of things. You see that those little campfires there? You take 1 point of damage there. so it doesn't hurt me, but taking damage doesn't proc my immunity shield, so I can't be knocked down or anything, and I'm absorbing damage. I went the wrong way again. And so if you're wondering, like, so if I go in here, like, man, it's just, everything looks like just big jumble of numbers. I have no idea what's going on. There are damage meters, so you can see what your abilities are doing in the match. And it saves, like, you can even see what it does in different rooms. This is the first room we're in, the second room we're in, and so on and so forth. So this is just the boss. You know, I ran up, I put Fletch's essence on, and then I ulted. My second ultimate. So this is what it does. The Holy Fire's continuous damage effect. Upon hitting enemies with Fletch's essence on, detonates them and causes the incineration effect. If enemies are hit by Fletch's essence while they're burning, they'll be stunned, and it'll incinerate everybody around them. It temporarily engulfs the targets in angry holy flames and holds them. When the targets enter incineration mode, they receive the remaining amounts of Holy Fire's continuous damage at once. That's why it looks like just throwing the fire, just throwing the bottle at them, just blew everything up. It's because all the fire damage over time that I have on them, when they get hit by it, it pops all of that at once. Kind of like Unstable Affliction, or with, can't remember what the name of the Affliction Warlock ability is that does that, but it's Prolific Grasp. So all I did was run up there and that hit the boss for 52 million. That's my second ultimate. It's called Blazing Hell. Then this is the whole thing. So Blazing Hell, that was just to the boss. It's 52 million, and then it did 248 million total because there were some ads in the room too. But throwing the bottle did the most damage out of anything in the entire run. It did 30% of my damage just throwing the bottle and having it incinerate. And then that's one of my passives. I can't remember what it boosts the fire, boosts both the bottles here, Fledge's Firebomb and Fledge's Essence. It makes me deal more damage. So that's my passive. My second awakening passive, the ult in the boss room and throwing gasoline on the fire is basically almost all my damage. So everything else is just for show. And, you know, you can scroll through. So this is the last one. The second last mission, third to last mission. That's my level 1 ultimate, Crucifixion, Death by Burning. But you see, it's pretty consistent, right? Fledge's Essence is second most in there. Second most, first most. So even though it looks like, man, you're just one-shotting the mobs, or you're killing very quickly, there's a DPS hierarchy. So, you know, you can test things. You know, I can go into my skills and I can change some of these numbers around. Like, okay, I see God's Wrath is at 8, and Noble Rage is at 11. Then I look down here, and Noble Rage is all the way down here, and God's Wrath, one God's Wrath did more damage than 2 Noble's Rages, right? So maybe I want to take points out of this and put more points in the God's Wrath. So you're free to do that. You get the free damage meter, the testing for your abilities. So that's 91 on another alt. What I'll be doing tomorrow is my Nemesis. I'll be doing it all the way to 95 because I want to get it ready and to pray, get the new legendary sets and new epic sets and everything ready. And so I appreciate it, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, wanted me to showcase a different game, please feel free to leave that in the comment section. And until next time, peace.